cucumbers, washed really well and sliced thinly, maybe quarter of a centimeter or so. You can see the thickness of them. There's skin on, and that is why I washed them. Well, regardless, you gotta wash your vegetables, wash your stuff. What I'm saying. One of them was a bit mature, so you see there's some seeds there, but if you want to avoid the seeds, you can get an English cucumber. Totally up to you. We'll need some black pepper, some sea salt, and I like adding, for a bit of texture and flavor, some red onion. Of course, dill. Dill is in season, so too my cucumbers. Thus, more recipes in the in-season series that I'm doing here on CaribbeanPod.com. So we got that dill. We've got mayonnaise. I like using a bit of sharpness from the rice vinegar, some sugar, and I've got sour cream. If you're not using sour cream or you don't have sour cream, you can use Greek yogurt. Totally up to you. And I did mention some black pepper, didn't I? Yeah, I want to put a bit of black pepper in there. If you want to put chili flakes in there, you can certainly do that. This is a great summertime, late spring, early summer sort of salad because cucumbers are in season right now. The dill is in season. Listen, in season all the way around. We've got the mayonnaise. I guess I'm going to need a spoon. I'm going to scrape all of that down in there. Followed by the sour cream. You hear that plop? That's really funny, yeah? But anyhow, all of that sour cream. And again, if you want to use Greek yogurt, go ahead and drop that Greek yogurt, vinegar, sugar, and that's just plain old white granulated sugar. If you wanted to use honey, you can use honey as well. It's totally up to you. Salt, some fresh ground black pepper, how much in the black pepper you use is totally up to you. Some people like it a bit more on the pepper side of things, and of course the dill. At this point, all we want to do is give that a good whisk just to incorporate all those flavors. If you find that it's overly thick, now I used rice vinegar as I mentioned there. What you can also, I'm going to thin it down with just a little bit more. What you can also use if you don't want that rice vinegar, you can use lemon juice. Totally up to you and your likes and dislikes, yeah? It's time to add all of that lovely cucumber in there. Just got a couple more pieces. Just be mindful to drain off most of the water before you do so. Along with the thinly sliced red onion. And red onion is just the color I prefer because it tends to have a better flavor. But if you want to use a sweet Vidalia, any sort of white onion will work as well. Or if you just want to chop up some fresh chives in here or some green onions or scallions, that will work as well too. So here we are. All we got to do now is give that a good mix. Salad done. Chill it for about 10-15 minutes and then you're ready to serve. Trying not to make a big mess, and this is why I purposely went with a huge bowl. I am notorious. Historically speaking, I make a mess in the kitchen time and time again. A trait I inherited from my father. When Bossman cooked, yes, the entire kitchen cooking too. And notice how easy that's coming together, yeah? What I would recommend doing is giving this about 10 minutes or so in the fridge, and then I would taste it at that point to adjust the salt level to your own liking. At this point here, I know I am on a sort of a low sodium diet purposely, so I'm not going to add any more salt, but notice how beautiful that all came together there. Yeah? Let me try this. Listen, I am not the biggest fan of dill, and you would have heard me say that time and time again. But this thing here is just ooh-wee. Non-Caribbean, but so nice. So nice. Look at that. Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. Always a pleasure having you all in the kitchen with me. Yo, give it a try. It's real nice.